Legacy heroes are a common idea in superhero comics, the idea of the hero's mantle being passed down the generations. Sometimes legacy heroes can outshine their predecessors, like the most well-known version of heroes like Green Lantern and the Flash being the second versions of those characters. We've seen this idea make its way onto the big screen recently. Black Panther had to switch from T'Challa to Shuri due to the passing of Chadwick Boseman. We've had two different Captain Americas headline big blockbusters, and the Spider-Verse movies are all about second Spider-Man Miles Morales. Now, one of my favourite heroes is a legacy hero, Kamala Khan, aka Ms. Marvel, and I find her an interesting legacy character because she's a reinvention of what a legacy character can be and how she fits into the larger Marvel mythology. So this episode, we're gonna look at that. Created by Sana Amanat, Stephen Wacker, Jubella Wilson, Adrian Alfonia, and Jamie McKelvey, Kamala Khan is the fourth person to inherit the title of Miss Marvel. The first was Carol Danvers, who got promoted to Captain. The second was Sharon Ventura, who became She-Thing. Third was Carla Sullivan, the villain Moonstone, who took the mantle of Miss Marvel under Norman Osborn's Dark Avengers. Kamala Khan is probably the most impactful one out of the bunch. When she was revealed in 2013, she got a lot of media coverage, especially non-nerd outlets like The Guardian, because she was the first Muslim hero to mainline her own book in a mainstream comic book company. Which brings me to my first point about Kamala Khan and legacy heroes. Somebody different. One of the things about legacy heroes is they change the status quo by having someone different in the costume and with a different perspective. You can have someone with a different background take the mantle than the last one. Think of the Robins. Dick Grayson, a former circus acrobat who lost his family. Jason Todd, post-crisis continuity anyway, an orphan who never knew his family with a bit of recklessness to him. Tim Drake, who had a family and a life outside of Batman. And Damian Wayne, Batman's kid, who lived a sheltered life and was raised by an assassin group. Different characters, different backgrounds, and entirely different Robins. With Kamala Khan, she's a Pakistani American from New Jersey who's also a nerd. That's a bit different from Carol Danvers, who is a white lady who worked for the Air Force. Big difference there, as I mentioned before, representation is important. Writing for The Guardian in 2013, Muaz Khan wrote about what Kamala Khan would mean for young Muslim people. Having worked with young people for over a decade, the need for relatable role models, be they fictional like Kamala or based in reality like Malala, is growing, particularly for young Muslim women. This is even more crucial within a post-9/11 world where young Muslims sometimes struggle to find their identity at a time when they're being pulled at from every direction. One can only imagine the positive impact these role models could have in the years to come. How something different take the role of the superhero can be bring a different set of eyes to that hero's role and can also show a different direction to take the hero. And that brings me to the other aspect of legacy heroes that Kamala Khan has. She's something completely different. Another thing that's interesting with Kamala Khan is that she has something to do with Carol Danvers. Unlike some legacy heroes who are either someone related to the hero, a former sidekick, an ally, their child, their clone, Kamala Khan isn't related to Carol Danvers in any way. Kamala is just a fan of hers. This severance gives her her own space to come into her own. She has her own supporting cast and even her own villains. Even her stories aren't that close to Carol Danvers, they're more in line with the early Lee Ditko Spider-Man, and I'm not the only one who thinks that. In an interview with Entertainment Weekly, then editor Axel Alonso said, "She is Peter Parker of the 21st century. Peter Parker can be a 16-year-old Pakistani girl from New Jersey. If a story is universal, then people are going to come to read it. If it feels true, it resonates. People are going to come." The character is a nerd. Peter Parker was a science nerd because what would make geek culture wasn't a thing in the early 60s. Who's a bit of an outsider who has to balance their superhero careers with their personal life, which revolves around high school and family. Now you can say her being an Inhuman connects to Danvers by 6 degrees of separation because they were created by the Kree, and Carol has ties to them, and I can see that, but it's a bit of a stretch. I also should mention that Kamala Khan is now part of the X-Men, and Carol was an ally and lived with them, which I can see tying Kamala to Carol, and that's a fair point, but my point still stands. There are other legacy characters who had a clean break from Antichrist. Now, probably would be Green Lantern, with Alan Scott's stories being fantasy-themed pulp adventure comics to the Silver Age, with Hal Jordan's stories going into space, making a clear distinction between the two characters. Kamala Khan's early stories were more grounded and dealt with more down-to-earth issues that set Kamala apart from her predecessors, which were, especially in Carol Danvers' case, more in line with the cosmic side of the Marvel Universe. So that was my brief analysis on Kamala Khan and how she defies certain legacy hero molds and strikes out on her own. Is there any points you think I missed? Then please leave a comment below, and don't forget to click that like button, and if you want more stuff like this, then please subscribe. Like what you see here? Then please subscribe for my YouTube channel so you can get more Watch This Space, but also other things such as my short films. Please remember to like and subscribe to the videos you just watched, and also please check out The Orange Bin, my blog, where I have write-ups of my episodes here, which with links to sources that I mention on the show. Also contains some of my old blog posts if you want to see what else I used to do back in the olden days. So please remember to check out my blog and like and subscribe to my YouTube channel.